welcome to Work the Left Side. I am hyper hyped to announce tonight's guest. I think I'm a true grit wrestling fan. I think I'm a big fan, but in comparison, this dude just eclipses me. I'm talking to the one, the only Thomas Stewart. Mate, how are you doing? You good?
I'm good, yeah. How are you?
Oh, mate, I am 5x5. Too blessed to be stressed. Thank you, dude. Yeah, obviously, like I sort of said, I like to think I'm a fan, but mate, I see you at the shows. You love it, dude. You're up for it all the time.
Always.
So obviously, we talk about this. We talk about wrestling, and we kind of want to look at how cool it is and how important it is, and how it makes you just feel really good about stuff as well. So obviously, I know you're a massive Nserekos fan. You and your dad and family kind of got into wrestling as part, because of Wes kind of thing. But you guys stuck around, and you just love everything. You love everything about it now, yeah.
I do.
So besides Nserekos, who's well, I don't even know why I'm asking. Obviously, it's Gung Ho Muttley. He's the one of your new favorite guys, yeah.
Yeah. My favorite is like those two people behind me, Rio and Wesley, and then drawn up there, Gung Ho Muttley.
Yes, that's a good trio, dude. Obviously, you look forward to the shows. I think you do the predictions as well, don't you? Every month, you kind of predict your winners. But what is it about wrestling then that you think I just think it's great.
Yeah, I enjoy all of it.
What's your favorite? If you could name me 5 things that you love about wrestling, what would it be?
I like the in the ring pictures and like all the intervals and me being in merch.
Yes. Oh, of course you do. Obviously, yes. I forgot to mention. Obviously, recently at the York shows, you got Dan on the cans.
Yeah.
Then we got Thomas's treats. I will say Tom's treats. Your little sweet bags, mate. They're awesome. I had one last time. Good stuff.
Yeah.
How did that come about then? Was that your idea? Was that your mum's idea? Your dad's idea?
I think it's all all of our ideas. Yes. Really good.
Nice. I like the way you don't take credit for it, dude. As a family, you came up with it. Not just True Grit, though. I'm obviously hyping up True Grit. You guys went to Blackheart recently, didn't you?
Yeah, it was really fun.
You enjoy it there, yeah?
The best bit was Gung Ho Muttley winning and me dancing in the ring with him.
No way! I didn't know about that. I didn't know you got in the ring with him.
Yeah, real fun.
Dude, did you have your lacrosse stick with you?
Yeah.
Oh,
Always when we see Gung Ho Muttley.
He's awesome, isn't he?
He is really good.
But I mean, in fairness as well, though, I know you got the lacrosse stick, but I think your dad deserves a lot of credit for that. And obviously, anybody who follows Paul on the socials will have seen, mate, you've got like the best bedroom I've ever seen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Who picks who goes on the wall? Do you get to pick, or does your dad pick?
So we done like a list of who we're gonna put on the wall.
Obviously, Gung Ho was the most recent person to go on, yeah.
Yes.
Any spoilers? Anybody else going to be going on?
I don't know any.
Oh, I think you need to tell him. I'd just like to say George Hunter. I would like to say
George Hunter. He was really good. And I might put Luke Jacobs on it as well.
Okay, yeah. That was a bit tasty, wasn't it? I was a bit. You were the match against Vuzic on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh man, I don't know about you. I was sat there just like that a lot because the chops and the slams. I was like, ooh.
Yes.
Yes. But we're talking about people being in the ring. You've been there, as I mentioned beforehand. You helped your dad versus Nathan. It turned into a family affair. Everybody got in there. you've seen the episode graphic. You know, I've used
Yeah.
that beautiful shot of you delivering a swift kick to Nathan.
Yeah, that's called the low blow.
Ah, okay. Was that spur of the moment, or did you always kind of think, I really want to do that to Nathan, or did you just think, actually, yeah, go on, I'll do that?
My dad thought that.
It was your dad's idea.
Yeah.
You know, right when the match was coming, obviously, you know, your dad had this big fight with Nathan coming up, kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, did you get involved much, you know, in the lead up kind of thing? Was you and your dad talking about it? Was you kind of being like, well, you know, as you sort of said, you know, if you get a chance, give him a bit of a kick, or, you know, give him a bit of a tickle, give him a bit of a slap, something like
Yeah.
that. Dude, how was it though? Obviously, you know, I mean, you're the only person I know as young as to be in the ring. That's amazing, mate.
That was amazing, yeah.
Did you go to school? So obviously the Monday afterwards and telling everyone.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
Dude, if that was me and I was at school that Monday, I would have just been walking around telling everyone. I'd be stopping teachers. I'd be talking to people in the hallways. Like, guess what I did on Saturday? Yeah, you know, I was in the wrestling ring.
Yeah, that's really cool, that.
It's just, mate, it blows my mind. I just think it's awesome. But obviously, as well, talking wrestling, we've got the next show coming up for True Grit, and they've announced, you know, Meat Wagon's going to be back. I know you had a bit of beef. I know you had a bit of beef with them, or was it with Meat Wagon, or was it just with you know, Mr. McManus?
I think it was just Meat Wagon there.
Do you like Meat Wagon now that they don't have Tom McManus, or are you still not a Meat Wagon fan?
I like Meat Wagon now because they might be turning into goodies.
Yes, I like your thinking.
It's like when Sean Only and Brady Phillips turn into goodies, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
really
it.
Cool.
It does happen, you know. People see the error of their ways. You know, baddies become goodies, and it's okay to cheer them, then, isn't it? Because you know they're not being dastardly anymore.
No.
Will we ever cheer Nathan though?
No.
Nah, I don't think so. Obviously, you mentioned George Hunter before. We're all about obviously he made his debut. What other matches did you enjoy from Saturday just gone?
I actually like the George Hunter one. Really cool.
Against Nathan. Ooh.
Yeah.
What about Alexis and Melissa?
Yeah, I like that as well.
But we've got to be. I'm guessing that you're really hoping for a ZZ versus Alexis match at some point.
Yeah.
Or what about ZZ versus Sash?
I don't know. I think ZZ might win.
What, against Cash? Oh,
yeah.
I've got to be careful what I say here, but you know I can't disagree with you. We'll say ZZ will take the win. And but yeah, so if I asked you to explain to somebody, you know, obviously you like wrestling, no, you love wrestling, we love wrestling, but if I was somebody who didn't know what wrestling was or had never seen it before, and you was trying to describe it to me and tell me how great it was, you know, could you do that? Could you sort of sell me wrestling? Could you be like, if I was thinking about going to a show, what would you tell me? What's the best things about it?
The best thing about the wrestling is like, it's like really cool, and
the action, you know, just everything like that as well. Yeah,
the action. Yeah.
We mentioned Nserekos. That's got to be that's got to be really cool for you, because obviously, you know, he's a friend, he's a mate. You know, you can tell people like you're friends, you know, with Wesley and Nserekos. You know, it's you guys are close. You know, when he was on Gladiators, that must have been amazing. Again, kind of going back to like when you're at school, how cool is it to be able to tell people at school, you know, oh, I'm mates with that guy on Gladiators.
When I was at school, like when I was in year 3, I think I done shown a video of the first True Grit Redemption with me and Wesley doing an entrance together.
Yes.
Really good.
And that's obviously, yeah, you could show him that entrance, be like, that's the guy that's on Gladiators, you know. So yeah, it just that must make you feel really good as well. Though, really, like, does it help like confidence, or does it?
Always confident. Yeah, it's real good. Stay confident.
Yes, dude. Just while I've got you here as well, I know we do the predictions. I'm going to put you on the spot, dude, if you don't mind, because obviously yesterday, well, depending when this goes out, True Grit have shown the poster, you know, for Jacob's Ladder. So we can guess at what some of the matches are going to be, I think, for Jacob's Ladder. So if I asked you who you thought was going to win some of the matches, would you be up for giving me your predictions?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Obviously, they've announced Nserekos versus Joey Slade. I probably don't need to ask, but I'm gonna. Who's going to win that match?
Nserekos.
Of course. Yeah, definitely, dude. It's not even up for debate, is it? He's definitely going to win that match. I think, you know, we're going to have a Alexis Falcon versus Natalie Sykes. I think you've probably seen a couple of times at True Grit. You seen Natalie Sykes before? Yep. There we go.
Yeah, and I actually slapped Alexis Falcon, and he just left a bruise. Left a big mark on her.
Nice. Was that the last show or the one before?
It was the True Grit WrestleFest.
Oh, WrestleFest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow, dude. So you've done damage. Oh, mate. Maybe at some point we'll get a match. You know, Thomas versus Alexis.
Oh yeah, that's what I thought. I thought that already. And I'll use like a table and put thumbtacks on it and
Wow,
on it.
Dude. Okay, that's cool. That's cool. So it'll be a bit of a street fight then, yeah.
It's a street fight, yeah.
Street fight, nice. Obviously, yeah. Because you know, after she beat, sorry to bring it up, you know, yeah. After she beat Rhea, so you two kind of had that confrontation. You locked eyes, and you had that moment where
I'm furious.
I'm not surprised. You know, obviously, again, you know, we mentioned Easy and Wes, but I know Rio is at the top of the list as well, isn't she? For people, yeah.
It was the first one to be on my wall.
Who Rio was?
Yeah.
Ah, that's cool. So she's the first person to go onto the wall of awesomeness.
Yeah, I want her to keep on that belt until I get that challenge.
Nice. It can just be, like I said, we'll just change it. It don't have to be the women's belt, does it? It could just be a title belt, and then you can go through it. Jobs are good. Yeah. Nice. So we'll say, we'll skip the Alexis one because I think we were both a little bit biased on that one. We both want Alexis to kind of hold on to it for a little bit in that sense. So Kemper versus Riley in a chain match. I mean, you saw Kemper. So big question is the ladder match, the triple threat. Who I know you're not going to pick the regime, but who is your money on between Meatwagon? never. Who's your money on between Misery Business and Meatwagon to get the tag titles?
Meatwagon, definitely, if they're going to turn into goodies.
Yeah, that's for me. I don't know about you, dude, but when I go to like a True Grit show or any wrestling show like Blackheart, something like that as well, is you can walk around and you're around people who like the same thing as you. You can just talk wrestling to anyone, and it's just going to be a lot of fun, isn't it? So I see you running around True Grit just like that.
Yeah.
But you've got the confidence.
I'm going to accompany Gungo Muttley to at Blackheart to the ring.
Yeah.
It's going to be really cool.
Mate, that's it. So you're going to keep going back to Blackheart now because that was your first time, wasn't it? Before? Yeah. To get up and get in that ring is just it's amazing to me, dude. The fact that I see you at these wrestling shows, just you're happy, smiling, you're just walking around. Just as I said before, you seem to be full of confidence, mate, which is amazing.
Always. full of confidence.
And when I get to talk to you about wrestling as well, you're always really happy about it and excited. And you just seem, I think we could talk about wrestling for ages.
Oh yes.
NRG?
Yeah.
Yeah. We don't like them, do we?
No. My dad had
What?
a match against him.
Yeah, there we go. You see, that's why we don't like NRG. It wasn't just your dad, was it? Who was your dad teaming with?
Wesley.
Yeah. So we had Nserekos and Paul. This is NRG. And who won that match?
My dad and Wesley.
Yes. Just to rub that into NRG a little bit, they tried, they failed. But I think they're going to be back at Jacob's Ladder. And this is just speculation. Nothing's been announced yet, just for spoiler warnings. I think they may be taking on Lally, which was obviously Lana Austin and Holly Barlow. Holly's great. I know you've had a few confrontations with. I think you've slapped Lana a few times, haven't you?
Yeah.
But if she teams up with Holly, are we going to be rooting for her?
Nope. Holly's going to win it.
Yes. Holly's just going to do all the work.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fine, mate. I'm not going to disagree with that. I think I could quite happily see Lana just sulking at the ringside, and Holly just having to do everything.
Yeah. The next time Rio wins, she has to win when she next wrestles. It's going to be really cool.
Yes, I agree with that, mate. We are looking forward to Rio's return at True Grit, yeah?
Yes.
Yes, I fully agree with you. Fingers crossed it'll be soon. Maybe she'll come back in the Rumble. Can you imagine?
Yeah. It'll be cool.
That'd be very cool, dude. Just being sat there and Rio's music hits and that video comes up. That'd be exciting, wouldn't it?
Yeah. When I saw the Rebels, it was really good. I was really happy. I was standing up, and it's real good. And the regime, they're just a joke. They're just getting on my nerves now. The regime.
They winded you up now, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah, they have that effect on people. Not me, obviously. I can't say that. But mate, yeah, obviously, your dad showed me footage of you when the Rebels came back. You just turning around looking at the entrance because you sat near the ringside, wasn't you? And mate, I could see that excitement. You're just proper there, like, yeah.
Yeah, I was actually like that, me.
Dude.
Fun.
And that's what wrestling does to us, isn't it?
Yep.
Makes us feel happy.
Yep.
Thomas, you've been amazing, mate. Thank you so much. Have you enjoyed it?
It was really good. My first time.
Definitely, dude. And like I say, we'll do it again at some point. And then we're obviously going to have to do it before you have that match with Alexis.
Yeah.
We'll get that hyped up.
Yep.
Dude. But mate, thank you so much. I've absolutely loved. Like I said, I could keep talking for ages, but I'm sure you've got better things to do. So I will say thank you so much, Thomas. And mate, I will see you at Left Bank for Jacob's Ladder.
You too.
Mate, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Right. I will say goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Cool. Right. So obviously, I've just had the pleasure of talking to Thomas. We've been talking True Grit, we've been talking Blackheart, everything like that, the awesomeness of wrestling. Just obviously because the episode is, to do with, DLD, raising awareness, letting people know. Obviously, this episode will be has uploaded today, Friday the 17th, which is DLD Awareness Day. So it's not something I know much about, which is, why I was more than happy to do this episode. But I'm kind of going to just pass it over to Paul to, tell me what it's about, make me more aware, and hopefully, let you all know, just what it is.
Yeah, so I didn't know what it was when Thomas had the diagnosis. He has struggled a lot with learning, educational, speaking. even socializing, believe it or not. Um, DLD stands for developmental language disorder. So it's really confusing for Thomas to construct a sentence, to understand like questions as well. You know, sometimes if a question's quite long, it'll jumble up. It's not just a simple request like, "What color is that pen?" Um, you know, he could probably answer that, but then the more that gets added to it, he can struggle with that. So yeah, we were just going through the motions of we knew that there was something, but we didn't know what it was. So we were going through the motions of you know, like pediatric help, all that sort of thing. And he had appointments, and then he came back with a diagnosis of DLD. And my face was similar to, you know, to yours. What is this? And you know, it's all been explained to me now. So it affects 1 in 10 people in the classroom,
Wow.
apparently. Yeah, I've seen a few adverts. I've done a bit of research myself, trying to find out what causes it. Yeah, and I just thought I'd want to raise the awareness. You know,
Mm.
Thomas is as you said, a True Grit super fan, and you know, it's nice for people to know, you know, like the struggles that he has, and you know, sometimes people may not know, you know, why he'll struggle to understand them sometimes, or when he comes over and you know rambles a little bit to you, you know, you may start to understand why.
I just take it as excitement. You know, I talk to him at the wrestling show. Where, mate, I ramble at people at wrestling shows. I'm just like, I mean, fuck, you know, sorry, Paul, you know, I ramble on this. So, you know, I just thought it was wrestling. I just thought it was excitement. But, yeah, you know, that makes, it's crazy though, 1 in 10. You know, for something that a lot of people I know haven't heard of, I haven't heard of, you know, for it to affect 1 in 10 kids in a classroom, that's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, I was flabbergasted myself. As you say, there's multiple, you know, reasons or trying to think of the word, ideas as to what can cause it.
Yeah.
One of them is a deprivation of oxygen to the brain around birth or a traumatic birth. That's the one that we seem to have, you know, homed in on, because when Thomas was born, he did have the cord round his neck. Um, he wasn't responsive for a good 10 minutes. You know, thankfully, the all the doctors, nurses on hand at the hospital, you know, managed to bring him back with us. And, you know, bless that I've got him. But that 10 minutes could possibly be, you know, the reason why this DLD has come about.
Wow. That's crazy. It's like it's yeah, you like you said, you know, for various reasons for it, but that's just it's kind of like you said, you know, just that one moment can have such the ripple effect, like the butterfly effect. It just, you know, carries on kind of thing. I know my eldest, you know, he was 3 months premature. You know, we had a lot of complications. He had about 40 surgeries in, you know, like the first year of his life, and you know, that has caused issues. So I can kind of not the DLD side, but I know just that thought of being in the hospital, you know, the concern, you know, it should be the happiest day, and it
Yeah.
just turns into like, you know, one of the scariest moments. It's crazy.
Yeah, yeah, it is, and it's had them effects, like you say. DLD, there's no reverse to it. It's something that he'll have for all of his life. You know, he is going to face struggles in future. You know, employment, things like that. He's had a little bit of trouble because he's different in school. You know, that seems to have got better now. Purely because of wrestling. You know, that's what this leads to. You know, it's one thing talking about the LD and the awareness, but you know, part of this is like how I want to reach out to wrestling and people that you know have these neurodivergent disorders. You know, there is an umbrella that covers quite a lot of these disorders, and you know that's what my part of this is for me to sort of explain how wrestling's helped and how it can help others.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, like I sort of said, I've only ever known Thomas from sort of wrestling. I didn't know you guys straight away when you turned up, so I only kind of think we started talking probably about 6 months after you guys had started coming to True Grit kind of thing. Because me being me, I'm always in the shadows. I'm the quiet guy in the corner, just keeps himself to himself. But obviously, once I started talking to Thomas, yeah, to me, he was just this amazing kid, loves wrestling, excited. And the fact that I can hold a conversation with him about wrestling, for me, dude, that speaks volumes. Like you're sort of saying, if that wasn't possible before going to the wrestling, that's the positive impact just going to wrestling has had.
Yeah, yeah, he does struggle to have conversations with a lot of things. Like if he finds something that he's interested in, he can talk. It's hard in a way because he lives in this little world that he struggles to deviate from. And if somebody's talking about something that doesn't interest him or it's not in this world of his care, he can just switch off.
Yeah.
But anyone that enters that space with him and talks to him about something of his interest, that he can hold a conversation forever. And this is where I'm finding wrestling. Anyone can tune into him on wrestling.
Yeah. And like I said, the thing about being at school, obviously being a little bit different. Yeah, I mean, we talked about, being mates with Wes, the Nserekos connection and all that kind of sort of stuff. And like, when he was on Gladiators, Thomas being able to turn around at school, being like, I know that guy. That guy's my friend. I've come out to a wrestling match with that guy.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing feeling. Everything with James Carr, as well. Even before he's gone into the way that he is now. He was brilliant with him. Like I think I've mentioned before, we turned up to True Grit to see Wes, and then we've got talking to James Carr, JC. Like the opportunities there that Thomas has had as well. At the start, like walking out with Wes, obviously, that was through James Carr, that was through Wes, and just some of the things that he was able to do, and just being in that safe haven. Like I must admit, sometimes I do worry about things new with Thomas, especially with people that I don't know. I'm always worried, what people will think of him. Like if he's trying to talk. I'm worried that he gets manipulated. But True Grit straight away was that safe haven. I can let Thomas walk around. Same with Robert. Same with Eva. They can stroll around the place like they own the place, which they do. And somebody will come over to me and say, "Oh, Paul, your kid's over there." I'm like, "So."
Yeah.
It's absolutely fine. I trust the they'll walk to Tony. Robbie will be growling in front of him. Thomas will just find somebody new. Thomas will go on merch. They'll be all over the place. I don't have a clue where they are, but while they're in True Grit, it's that safe haven. It's safe haven for us as well. Me and Rebecca as parents to like Thomas.
That's it. I just want to say, the dude loves, Thomas loves the merch table. I sort of said, I mentioned to him like selling the sweets at York now. That's amazing.
Yeah, he does a little bit of that with his mum as well. His mum does a lot of charity events. Like she's got a passion for making things and having these stalls. She has done one for DLD Awareness. She's done them for Alzheimer's charities, cancer charities. But she does organise them, gets a big group together, and Thomas enjoys being on the stall with her and selling. So that merch table's right at home for him. He really does love doing that. And that's a shout out as well to Becky, because the next one that she's doing a Christmas market.
Oh.
It may be quite far away for the normal True Grit fans, like where yous are, because we do travel over from Manchester to come and see True Grit. but it's going to be local to us. But she's actually doing it for the Hot Tag Foundation. So she's going to be collecting for that, like any proceeds made, like the charity stall holders, the stall holders will pay a fee to have their stall, but all that money then goes to the Hot Tag Foundation.
Awesome. That's quality. Obviously, massive shout out to them as well. What they kind of, when I spoke to the Hot Tag, what they were trying to achieve, or what they were trying to raise awareness of on their side, was the positive impact wrestling can have. Just having that kind of place where kids can go and families can go, and just that joint experience. And that is, Thomas embodies that for me. He is kind of the embodiment of what the Hot Tag Foundation are looking for. Just somebody who find wrestling, and for it to have that positive impact on just not just on them, but on the confidence. Them. And obviously once the confidence grows, they can do more stuff. They feel a little bit more confident. Hopefully that confidence kind of ripples out into other areas. I know like Thomas loves drumming. You sent me videos of him, like drumming at school kind of thing. And to me, that's just a ripple of confidence that comes from probably comes from the wrestling and stuff.
It does, because like I sort of forget the things that he does out of school as well, but it seems to bounce from one to the other. So from the wrestling back to school, from wrestling, and then this confidence just builds between the two. So I remember when I was in the back, preparing for my match with NRG, that was like my first appearance, and I was scared. I was terrified. All these thoughts going through my head. Will people care? Does anyone care that this fan's getting into the ring? And obviously, what I had to do as well in the ring. But like I said to Thomas, "Are you not scared?" Because like he was walking out in front of a crowd. It's like, no, no. And it's because he can play drums in front of like a big crowd at assembly,
Yeah.
and that confidence has just bounced from that to that. So the confidence that he got from walking out with Wesley with a title in front of a big crowd, then bounced onto him being able to play the drums in front of a class, which then like made him be able to come out with me to the ring for NRG, and then obviously that then gave him the confidence to go into the ring and boot Nathan. So you don't get much more confident than that.
Dude, I mean, I think the next step up from that obviously is climbing the turnbuckles. Obviously on the episode graphic, there's Thomas's face. The actual full picture is him stood on the second turnbuckle just like that, at the audience. And
Yeah.
to me, that is just, yes, that is confidence personified. That is just the embodiment of, mate, this is what it is. This is, the impact it's had. This is the positivity, of just, yeah, Thomas getting up onto that second rope and just shouting at the audience like, yes. And the audience reacting to it, obviously feeding off of it, mate, is literally just, goosebumps.
Yeah. Yeah, that's it, and that's the result that I hoped for. It came about in a different way, because as much as Nathan was winding me up and pushing and shoving me around leading up to that, the reason that I got into that ring was to say to Thomas, I'm going to do something about this, and give him that experience of coming out to the ring with me, and just being in that moment of seeing his dad in the ring, a memory that he'll have for the rest of his life. But it turned out better because, I can't really say that I massively underestimated Nathan, but I didn't realize that I was going to get the shit kicking that I did. I got absolutely pasted. I thought if I brought a few weapons out with me, because he didn't come out with any, I thought I've got a couple of equalizers. Becky didn't want me to resort to that straight away. I did run out to the ring at the start to grab this kendo stick, and she was like, "I don't want you to do this in front of the kids." Oh, he's got it.
This kendo stick.
Oh yeah, you can see the brake marks on it.
Yep, this is candlestick. It's still here. It's in the back of every episode that I do. It's always in the back over there.
But yeah, she didn't want me to resort to that straight away, so that made my chances even slimmer. And I was in a bad way. I was in a really bad way, and Thomas came in and helped me. And it turned out that I needed him. He didn't need me to get into the ring and do it and give him the moment. He gave himself the moment. He was on top of that pin, that schoolboy, and he got the win. He was up on the turnbuckle, and that was even better than what I strived out to do. I wanted to give him a memory. He made his own.
That's it, mate. And so that is, you sort of said, that's the positivity, that's the impact. I know we've kind of been talking about it. I don't know how much I'm allowed to say, or if I'm really should be asking these questions, but I know you are kind of wanting to do, a show and to raise awareness, not just for DLD, like you sort of said. There's lots of things that fit under that umbrella. There's kind of, and I think we're looking at sort of next year. But yeah, is there anything you can kind of give us, about the show? Is there any details that you want to shout out at the moment?
Yeah, so I did put a post on a few months ago, asking if there was room for this sort of thing in wrestling, like a neurodiversity event. The idea is for wrestlers in this neurodiversity bracket perform to a crowd of people that have neurodivergent disorders, because I feel like I found the answers through pro wrestling, and I'm hoping that people can find their answers there. That's like my spearhead. Surrounding myself with a few people that want to, go for this with me. And we have a show. Breaking news, exclusive, work the left side. So final details are being put in place. It looks like it's going to be on Sunday, the 22nd of March. And we've got a name, we believe. We're thinking Breaking Boundaries, purely because of what we're hoping to do. We're hoping to break down these barriers, unlock these barriers. My theory of pro wrestling, unlocking barriers. So we're breaking boundaries. But there is another reason for it being breaking boundaries. We are looking at a potential venue. We think we may have it, but I've just got to put someone else is working with me on this, and they're just finalizing that detail. So I don't really want to drop the venue just yet.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case, because we will be breaking boundaries.
Dude, mate, love it. Love that name as well. That is freaking amazing. And I know I was meant to have him on the show a few months ago, and we never got around to it because I lost sort of Skype and stuff like that. But I know Big Bopper is, huge on this kind of sort of stuff as well. I've spoken to him at Planet before, and he was on about, he kind of mentioned the idea of wanting to do like a sensory sort of show, where like each match was like, to do with like a different sense or something like that. I know you've mentioned this name previously, so I've got to presume, obviously, you guys are kind of in talks, about the show, or if he's helping out in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah, he will be. He will be. I reached out to him. One of the first people that I reached out to with the idea, because I know that he's gone for it in the past. So I have reached out to him again. I didn't want to mither him too much until I started to get the ball rolling. Like keep sending messages like, I'm thinking of this, I'm thinking of this. The important thing is to get the date, get the venue, and then the rest falls in there, really. Like who's going to be on. At the same time, you're not going to mither too many people about, can you perform this when, we don't know this is happening. But I have been in touch with him, and he's gonna be a big part of it as well. There's a few people that I've managed to pull together that work within that sector, because my casework really is only Thomas. I know it's work for Thomas, but because, as you said before, neurodiversity, it covers quite a lot of different like disorders and conditions, and it's not really a one boot fits all. So there are other things that need to be considered, and I need to be trained in a way to make sure that the crowd is comfortable there. That
Yeah.
there's disclaimers in a way of what they can expect at this show, because at least they can prepare. That is a space for people if something's starting to feel uncomfortable. That there is a quiet space for them to go to, that it's accessible. There are so many things, so this is why the venue is important, and this is why I've not gone right into it yet, because the person that's sorting out this venue for me is checking it out as we speak.
Yes. I will. What I'll just you mentioning that then. Speaking from experience from promotions that I know that kind of cater, for people along these kind of lines, is might be worth reaching out to Peter at Wrestle Island. I know when Wrestle Island put a show on, they always kind of advertised as like I think they do like the free headphones, for kids if needs be. There's always kind of like a sort of safe. Can't remember the exact terminology of it, but there's like a place where it's just like a neutral. You can kind of just go into it, and I don't know if it's like the music or lighting or something, but it's it just has that calming effect kind of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I know Wrestle Island are very much on point with stuff like that as well. So obviously I'm not saying contact them, but if you did, want to pick anyone's brains, Peter and Jody, I think at Wrestle Island are two people that might be helpful.
Yeah, that's it. Like I'm learning. Like it's a tough one for me, because like the will that I have to prove like my theory with Thomas and what's happened with Thomas, I'm hoping works on a grander scale. The will that I have to do it probably isn't matched by my capability to do it. So I'm gonna need all the help that I can get.
Delegation,
And
dude.
there are a lot of
Delegation.
people that are coming in to drive this along. So it's never about me. It's about the cause, and it's about bringing wrestling, um, making wrestling change lives. That's the goal of it. And
Dude.
I just feel that with this, wrestling's like a different world, and it can be creative, it can be beautiful. You can have these storylines, and people don't always appreciate it. Non-wrestling fans don't appreciate like what wrestling can actually do. They can say it's fake, they can say it's ridiculous, they can say like uh, a dead man like the Undertaker, what sort of crap are you watching? But in wrestling, it's only in wrestling that you can be that creative and be so successful.
Yeah.
You can be as ridiculous as you want to be in wrestling. You can be someone like Kane, who's been burnt to a crisp and come back like, and you can't feel pain. And people get it in wrestling, and it's rewarded in a way. This person goes on to be a world champion. They're on top of the world, and it's only wrestling that can do that. It's only wrestling that allows you to be way out there, out of this world in terms of stories and characters, but you're accepted. And that's what Thomas has found. He's accepted. He's not judged for having this mind that's, maybe different to the outside world. And that is why this show's important.
Yes. Dude, I've got nothing to add to that. I think that was perfectly worded. That was just, yeah, mate, that was beautiful. I say it just sums it up. That is the game. That's the aim. That's what, as of when this show happens next year, hopefully, it ticks all the boxes. It does exactly what you want it to do. But obviously, hopefully, this episode, what you just said as well, helps ways. So I can't even speak. It hopefully educates people, on what DLD is, and just opens a few eyes. That's the point.
Yeah, and I am going to say it. Actually, I am going to say it. I'm really, really hoping that I can get a commemorative title made for this show. I'm going to drop the name of the title that I've got in mind. It's going to be called an Iron Championship. The iron reflects the strength, but the letters I inclusive are roster, O of, and neurodiversity. So the meaning is going to be in this title. I'm really hoping that I can pull this together. As I say, I've got a lot of work to do, but I've got a lot of people that are supporting, so I think it will happen. And then I don't know how the title's going to work, but I'm hoping that this can then be carried on. You know, the title can be defended and the awareness can spread and the awareness can be all year round, you know, not just for a week, not just for a day. So,
I
yeah.
think, you know
And I
what
think,
would be
oh,
really,
sorry, go.
what would
Yeah,
be
I was going to
really
say,
interesting.
even with this show, if one family gets the answer,
Yeah.
just one family gets the answer that I've got, then I've done it. But
Yeah.
honestly, if you're on the fence about it, give it a try. I think it could work. I think
Yeah.
it could be an answer to unlocking barriers. And me and Thomas, you know, my family, we're the proof. I wouldn't do it if I didn't believe in it. So if you're on the fence, you feel that there's barriers, you're looking for something, please give this show a shout and just give pro wrestling a shout. Not even just this show. Pro wrestling, you know, they didn't have to be an event that was specialized in neurodiversity for my son to find the answers, but we have found the answers. But I'm trying to pull it together as a neurodiversity show to attract these, to bring people in. But pro wrestling, you know, in general, I feel answers a lot of questions.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of likened it in the sense, you know, to like the Pride shows. You know, there's always a bigger audience at the Pride shows, but then there's always a few people that hang around afterwards, you know, and then you see them coming to the shows afterwards. You know, they only came along that initial time because it was a Pride show. They loved what they see. They got the community. They kind of felt, you know, accepted or everything like that. And that's what, you know, the goal is, I would presume, you know, for this show as well. You know, it may pull in like lots of new faces. Like you said,
Yeah.
even if just one family gets it, you know, if a handful of people come to, or just find a local promotion near them from wherever they've come on the back of seeing this show, and they, you know, they have that time out, you know, it's something to do with the family. Like so, it's something for the kids to look forward to. It gives them, like I say, it will help with the confidence. It's just so much stuff like that. But what I was going to say is, if other people want to lead by example as well, like you've got this belt, if you get this belt made for this show, and I like, you know, obviously this is kind of going to be sort of a Yorkshire area kind of thing. But you know, if somebody up in the northwest or somebody in the northeast or somebody in the Midlands sees this and the penny drops and thinks that's a really good freaking idea, I kind of want to do something like it. Mate, if they reached out and be like, right, you've already got the belt, you know, whoever who's holding the belt at the end of your show, you obviously contact them, you know, and then that belt, if anybody else does a show similar, mate, that belt can just kind of travel.
Yeah, that is the idea. That well, I'm hoping that's the idea. That this can just it can. I think it can change wrestling, but as well, I think it can also
Not just wrestling,
change
mate.
a lot of lives.
It can change lives. It can change people. It can change families. You know, as much
Yeah,
as we love wrestling, you know, there's no doubt about that. But being able to change people's lives, being able to change families, you know, kids, just happiness. You know, as much as we love wrestling, that matters more. You know, and if this can do that, mate, that is generally amazing.
yeah, yeah. I don't maybe change wrestling's the wrong word, but it can add to wrestling. You know,
Yeah,
we love wrestling for what it is, but yeah, not change it, but it can.
you can
Yeah,
level it
it
up.
can
It
add
can
to it.
level up.
Yeah, yeah, it can be a welcome addition.
Yeah.
But like you said about the Pride show, a lot of inspiration was gained from that. Um, a lot of inspiration was gained from that. So yeah, that's what I thought, and trying to mirror that sort of the show and how it was received, and how that champion carries the belt. You know,
Ah, mate,
like that's a statement in itself. You know, the way that Adam Bolt carries that belt. If somebody's carrying a belt in a similar fashion to Adam Bolt, then there's awareness right there.
Exactly, mate. There's those matches are getting seen. People are asking questions. Be like, what belt was that? Oh, what's that? Oh, okay, what's that? Okay. Then yeah, bam, down the rabbit hole. Jobs are good.
Yeah.
But dude, mate, yeah, I'm getting overly hyped again now. We've kind of got to this point of the conversation where it's just building and building and building, and I'm just like,
Yeah.
hey, dude, yeah. But honestly, though, you know, I'm not overselling it. I'm not overhyping it. It's just, as you sort of said, Joette, this is just one of those moments where, you know, I'd like to think, you know, this is the first show of its kind. If I'm wrong, if there's been other ones, obviously please let us know, because you know it'd be great to talk about those at some point. And I'll let people know. But this is the first show that I know of its kind. And if this is the benchmark, if this is kind of like sort of said, breaking those boundaries, if in a year's time, 2 years' time, 3 years' time, you know, there's several of these kind of shows going on all over the place, you know, we can pinpoint this moment as being like, you know, this was what kind of this was the pebble in the ocean that set the ripples off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I can't add to it, but I'm excited about it. You know, I'm not worried about overhyping, because I'm not gonna lie, I feel so strongly about this that it will probably be at the forefront of my mind until it happens. I'm probably gonna annoy these people that are helping me out. Fully aware of it because my mind is always working. So yeah,
Well,
it's
yeah,
gonna be good.
you know where we are as well. Obviously, you know, it goes without saying we'll do whatever we can do to, you know, get the word out there, hype stuff up. You know, dude, I talk to you like twice a month just on Work the Left Side, and when we're hyping or reviewing True Grit shows. If there's ever any news about it, if there's ever any details, mate, drop it into the episode. Let's chat about it as well, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, mate, yeah.
I will do. I will do. I'm just noticing the screen now, like like my body language as well with the excitement because I was sat way back here at the start, and the more that I'm talking about it, I'm getting closer and closer and closer. You know, you're pulling me in, and it's just it's magic. That's it. You know, involuntary. You're drawn into this, so it's going to. It's going to be insane. It's going to be so good. It really is. I can't wait. I really can. And the team as well, you know, like the team haven't really sort of said much, you know, until we're pretty sure that we've got this venue. We're pretty sure. So yeah, when the ball starts rolling and people can start saying things, it's going to be insane. It's so excited, and the people that are coming into it, they're excited too. So yeah, it's great.
That's key, mate. That's key. If you've got good people around you and everybody's excited, you know, that excitement builds on excitement. It just builds and builds and builds and builds. And it's just like, yes, you know, you got a supernova, just solar, yeah, energy. It's crazy. But yeah, that's it. Now I'm talking about freaking energy done. I'm obviously too hyped now to continue. But mate, thank you so much. Obviously, you know, shout out to Thomas as well. You know, like I sort of said, you know, the start of the episode was talking to him, talking to wrestling, just kind of showing just how cool, you know, his excitement as well, and just being able to hold those conversations, you know, asking him questions, giving me the answers, bigging up the wrestlers, talking about going to Blackheart, you know, talking about being in the ring with Gung Ho and Muttley. It was just, yeah. And then obviously, you know, we've talked about the upcoming show, hopefully next year. And yeah, raising DLD awareness. So, mate, I think I'm really hyped. This has probably been one of my favorite episodes ever.
Yeah.
So if you're happy, dude, I'll let you sort of plug your socials, let people know where they can sort of find you. Obviously for the artwork as well, mate. You know, we're doing the DLD thing, but you get eyes on you. You get eyes on what you do in the future. So that's connected as well.
Yeah, exactly. Like on this, put Thomas's dad. So the episodes is so yeah. I'd say it's not about me. But yeah, I will sneak in and go for my Paul's wrestling art. Because that's another thing that I've plugged myself in for as well. I'm appearing at For the Love of Wrestling on a stall, so I'm going to be painting a load of pictures. I've not got any pictures on me, but this big wall behind me is what I painted the kids' bedroom to look like. So I'm always with a paintbrush. But yeah, I'm appearing there too, so I've got that in February, and then obviously we'll be preparing for March. But you know, you probably know now that I'm a man that likes quite a big challenge. So
Exactly. But what the reason I shout out, I know it's obviously not making it about you, dude. But as I sort of said, if people are looking at what you're doing, then they're going to be more inclined to listen to stuff that you're doing afterwards. So yeah, like I sort of said,
yeah,
you got the Love of Wrestling in February, which is huge. You take some
yeah,
flyers or you take some advertisements for the show in March, mate. The more people that know that you're for the Love of Wrestling will then see, what you're doing in March as well. So it's all connected. It's all like, yeah, so hype up the artwork, hype up for the Love of Wrestling,
yeah,
and then people will know more about what's going on in March as well. So,
yeah.
dude,
And speaking to you, just give me another idea. Yeah, that's it. The more people that I speak to, yeah, it's just building and building. But
exactly. Word of mouth, mate. Networking. That's the key word.
yeah,
I hear it so many times.
networking.
Networking.
Yeah,
But dude, yeah, thank you so much. Obviously, you know who we are. It's been a busy week this week. This will have been the 3rd episode, but it had to be done. I was not going to miss up a chance to do this, to talk to Thomas, to talk to Paul. So thank you for watching. If you've watched all 3 episodes, genuinely, you're amazing. If you've only watched this one, you're still amazing. Thank you so much. Go back and see if there's anything else that you're interested in. But yeah, we have been Work the Left Side. Hit like, subscribe, share, comment, do everything that we always ask you to do. And talking of Work the Left Side, remember, always work the left side. Goodbye.